From Folk Field in Cherry Hill, Dan Wilkins Broadcasting presents coverage of the Tri-County Baseball League here on this Tuesday afternoon between the Cinnaminson crew and the Cherry Hill Third Base Club. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dan Wilkins. It's going to be a good but hot Tuesday afternoon here in Cherry Hill, just behind the Cherry Hill Municipal Building here at Folk Field for a North versus South matchup between the Cinnaminson crew and CHBR. CHBR, when we saw them last week, got shut out 8-0 by the Rough Riders, or they got a run back late, so the final ended up being 8-1. But still, it was a fantastic performance by Zach Welsher, and it was a grand slam by Cameron Simon that really did CHBR in the early parts of the game. But we've got two star-studded pitchers tonight. We've got Mark Grubb for CHBR, who's got a 0.4 ERA, only one earned run in 27 innings. Meanwhile, he is racking up 49 strikeouts in those 27 innings. Meanwhile, you've got a guy who's got less experience, but still a low ERA to be proud of. Nathan Lawton, a 0.70 whip and a 1.4 ERA to his name as we go into this Tuesday night matchup. Cinnaminson at one point was 3-9. They had a 9-game losing streak to themselves after winning their first 3 very early in the season. They had arguably the most complete roster early in the season, but then when they hit tougher competition, it really started to fall for Cinnaminson and Ryan Horter Jr., the player manager. But now Cinnaminson, they won 3 straight, only beating Pittman last night. They beat them 7-6. It was a fun affair. 8 innings, extra inning ball. Carl Wisman had the game-winning hit. He is going to be at least that we think a factor in this game. We could be seeing him come off the bench as well. But it's Mark Grubb versus Nathan Lawton. A quick break, and we've got starting lineups and first pitch very soon. Ready to go here from Cherry Hill. First pitch is a foul ball, and we are underway. For Matt McCloskey, your center fielder, leading us off. The 0-1 hit out towards left center field, and it'll be caught at shallow left center by Johnny Marcucci for out number 1. Let's take a look at the Cinnaminson lineup for tonight's game. Starting lineups presented by Harper Driving School. You've got Matt McCloskey in center, followed by Aiden Meredith at short, Noah Waldron DH, Tyler Johnston in right, Felix Melendez at third base, Brady Belfus at second, Charles Neal in left, followed by Jackson Peacock, the catcher from Lenape, now at Utica University. Anthony Alessandroni of Rutgers Camden is the DH, or the EH. And Ryan Horner, the second baseman, bats 10th. Strike called to Meredith. It's a windy one tonight. First pitch, 6:12 p.m. 92 degrees here in Cherry Hill. Wind blowing 21-mile-an-hour gusts, 11 miles total to the southwest, as this ball is lined into center field for a base hit. So Meredith gives Cinnaminson their first hit of the day, and as they are trying to get maybe some unlikely offense, maybe not unlikely, but considering how well Mark Grubb has played this season, it might as well be. That'll bring up the 3-hitter, Noah Waldron. The designated hitter, originally from Collingswood High School, now at Gwynedd Mercy. Considering Ryan Horner himself plays ball at Gwynedd Mercy, it might not be all that surprising that you have a Gwynedd Mercy heavy team. Waldron batting .370, .930 average, or excuse me, .930 OPS. 2 extra base hits, 9 RBIs. In total, he is 17 for 46. He has 17 stolen bases and has not been caught yet this season. So if Waldron gets on base, You're going to hope that runner's on third so that Waldron can lead himself to second, as here's a fly ball popped up and out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. So Waldron dealing with Meredith on first. Another Cinnaminson product coming from Utica, like Jackson Peacock is. He's batting .257 as there's a ground ball. That'll go past shortstop into right field. Another base hit for Waldron. Mastero unloads, but the ball stops at second base, so it's a base hit for Waldron. And we've got 2 on and 1 away off of one of the league's best pitchers, one of the league's best young pitchers in Mark Grubb. Tyler Johnston will be the cleanup man. A grand total of 13 of Cinnaminson's 24 rostered players are listed as products of Gwynedd Mercy. There's a strike called. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Gwynedd Mercy, it's a Division III college that we've actually covered before on DWB. It's about 20 miles from here in Cherry Hill, about 45 minutes in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, in Ambler. But they've been trying to get back on their winning ways, and they certainly have. So I think that's been partially the goal of this Summer League team, have a team leader like Horner, as appeal to, well, home plate umpire called the check swing. A little bit of confusion there on whether that was a ball or a strike. Would have been strike 3 if he had gone around. But Grubb delivers. And there's a swing and a miss for out number 2. That is the 50th strikeout of the season for Mark Grubb, coming into this game with just 49 strikeouts and just 6 walks, 1 earned run. So if Cinnaminson is able to score off of Grubb, it would be one of the few times that he's been tagged for runs all year. Strike call. Ball went to the backstop. For Melendez. Melendez, another infielder from Gwynedd Mercy. .219 hitter, 7 for 32, 9 RBIs. So it's another strike called. Grubb's been throwing a lot of strikes, but Cinnaminson early put the bat on the ball, a fly ball to left, and then 2 singles off of Grubb back up the middle. Inside. First 3 for CHBR in the bottom of the first. We'll have Jason Bogart leading off, followed by R.J. Mastero and Jack Mastero. R.J. Mastero will be the DH. Jack Mastero will be the right fielder. Grubb ready, the 1-2. That one is low. Skips off the catcher's mask. Lahry comes up with it, and it's 2-2. Ball is shocked out to short, and it's bobbled by Marcucci. Goes into left center field. Run will score, and Cinnaminson's on the board first. It's 1-0. So that won't be an RBI, and it won't be an earned run against Grubb on Marcucci's error. But Melendez getting on now puts runners on first and third, pardon. For Brady Belfus takes a strike, 0-1. It's going to be hot all week. Saying 92 right now. Going to be down to 87 by the time we're done, but Wednesday's going to be 99, Thursday 96. Thursday will be our last regular season game. Looking like it's going to be the Grizzlies and the Rough Riders from Runnymede. That would be another 6:10 first pitch without having lights at their field, at least not set up yet, as that one's fouled back by Belfus. Again, Grubb has been throwing strikes early. He's been throwing a ton of strikes and really hasn't gotten himself anywhere near a threat of giving up a walk. I think he's only thrown 2 balls and 1 at bat. That's been it. So he's been pounding the strike zone as a dominant Division III pitcher is expected, but he'll swing and miss there to end the inning. So 2 strikeouts for Mark Grubb, but a run comes in unearned against the right-hander. We go to the bottom of the first. 1-0 Cinnaminson. CHBR coming to bat. First pitch in the bottom of the first is skied to center by Bogart. Catch is made by McCloskey. That's out number 1. So a quick 1 pitch, 1 out. Starting lineup for Bones Marciano and Cherry Hill third base. You'll see R.J. Mestero batting in the 2 slot after Jason Bogart. Strike is called. Jack Mestero in the 3 slot is your designated hitter. Jake Bartletta of Rowan University, formerly of Rancocas Valley, is the center fielder. Jason Bennett at first base batting 5th. Nick Cizelka is the left fielder batting 6th. John Marcucci of Rutgers Camden bats 7th at the shortstop spot, formerly of Paulsboro High School. Chase Ledeek of Gloucester Catholic is the EH batting 8th. Brendan Lockery, the catcher, bats 9th, and Hayden Sowers at third base bats 10th. So a couple changes in the lineup because Jason Ledeek was not in that lineup when we saw them versus the Rough Riders on last Tuesday. I believe it was a week ago today. As this ball is skied out to left center field. It's going to be short. It'll go to the shortstop who makes the catch, out number 2. If a guy like Walton with a 1.4 ERA can shut down Jack Mastero and Jason Bogart, 2 highly prolific Gloucester Catholic products and Gloucester Catholic alums, should set up what could be a good night and could be a good pitcher's duel for this tandem. Jack Mastero, the right fielder, played a little bit of everything for Rowan College of South Jersey, Gloucester, which is also where his older brother RJ Mastero played. Swing and a miss. 2 strikes on him. Both went to Gloucester Catholic, then both went to Rowan College. RJ spent 2 years there. Jack currently out of his first year going to year 2, and that'll be ball 4 to Mastero. Well, that sometimes happens when you're 300 some feet away. Sometimes a ball is a strike and a strike is a ball, and got a base runner though for CHBR. With Jake Bartletta, the center fielder, here in the 4 slot. Walton ready. Strike called. Excuse me, Lawton. Already making a few mistakes tonight, but sometimes you can work things out in the summer that you normally wouldn't be able to work out in the spring with a larger audience. But it's quickly 0-2. Cinnaminson holding a 1-0 lead. An unearned run in the top of the first gave the Crew the first run off the bat of Melendez, the third baseman. The 0-2. High fastball, stroke to right. It'll go foul down the line. Good job by Bartletta there to have that 2-strike approach. Anything close. And decides to lift up his shoulders, get a line drive on that bat out to right. And if he straightens that out, could probably get a base hit down the right field line, maybe get Mastero to third. But the idea was theirs. There's a ground ball to short. This will go to the second baseman. Horner throw on the run. It gets away. Runner will turn. He'll get back to the bag. Mastero will get to third. And that is going to be a throwing error on Horner. Although it was a close play, you could argue the extraordinary effort that Horner had to make to get to first negates it from being an error, and I'd say error for right now, and maybe if we look back at the tape, maybe it's a hit later. Discrepancies like those are really only a concern if a no-hitter is on the line. A no-hitter, perfect game, whatever. If that's a point of concern, whether something is a hit or an error, I usually check with the home book because they're the ones that have the official score. Ground ball by Bennett, foul. It'll be Neil Peacock and Allison Droney in the top of the second for Cinnaminson. bit of wind blowing out today. I will say, even though it's picking up a bit, it is certainly going. Ball is skied out towards right field. It's going to get down. Out towards the wall and right. Mastero scores. Runner coming around third. That throw is offline. It's a 2-run double. And it is now 2-1. CHBR as they take the lead. It's just a good piece of hitting. It'll be Cizelka now. Actually, it looks like Bennett is the batter. I apologize. Or did they switch it around on me? Yeah, that's Cizelka standing at second. So I think what they did is they swapped Cizelka and Bennett in the order. Hey, it's Summer League. Changes like that are somewhat normal. We had a game just last Sunday up in Katona, New York, where it was the Westchester Royals and the Westchester Mighty Ducks. Got to see a good ball game. 6-5 was the final. It was our first time covering any form of baseball in New York, any broadcast in New York. Now the fourth different state that we've covered a game in for DWB. We've had, of course, New Jersey, a good, I'd say 700 times at this point. We did one game in Delaware, or at least actually we did 2 games in Delaware on, I want to say it was mid-October in 2023. Did some fall softball work for Salem Community College. They played 2 games, one versus Chesapeake College and one versus Wilmington University, the NCAA Division II. So technically, that is the only time we've covered an NCAA Division II as a strike called. So even though we've never covered an NCAA Division II game, we have covered one where a team was involved as they're swinging a foul by Bennett. And if the record holds, it would be John Marcucci, the shortstop, on deck. Former Paulsboro standout player. Some fantastic players on that 2023 team. Doug King being one of them, as this ball is skied into left center field. This is going to get down. It'll bang off the bottom of the wall. Coming in to score is Cizelka. Going to second base will be Bennett. Back-to-back RBI doubles for the third baseman, and it's now 3-1. And once again, another good piece of hitting there by CHBR. 2-strike approach. Gets down, digs it out to left center field. With the wind blowing out tonight, both teams have been carrying the ball really well, and they've been making some strong efforts. Strike called. 0-1 to Marcucci. Was at Rutgers Camden this past season, which has assembled a great hub and landing spot for South Jersey athletes, as another strike is called. They brought in a whole lot of Colonial Conference talent. Gabe McCracken and Nick Caladros from Audubon High School. Brought in a handful of players from West Deptford and Paulsboro, and a few others, as there's a swing and a miss. Lawton gets the strikeout, but gives up 3. We go to the second here in Cherry Hill. It's 3-1 CHBR. Ball one to start the at-bat. It's Neil Peacock and Allison Droney, 7, 8, and 9. There is a 10th hitter for each team. Ryan Horner for Cinnaminson, Hayden Sowers for Cherry Hill. Ground ball sharply hit to second base. A play on the run. It's in time. Bogart with a nice grab over at short. A throw on the run is out number one. And another great play there by Jason Bogart. Another reason why he's been, or excuse me, Joey Bogart, the Rowan product, as to why he's been such an important player for not only the Profs in Glassboro, but the CHBR team as well. As the batter is Peacock, the catcher from Utica University, originally from Lenape. Strike is called. Eight for 33, 5 RBIs, 1 extra base hit, 7 walks and 3 stolen bases with a .242 average as another swing and a miss. For two pitchers that so far have been commanding the strike zone, a reason why Lawton has a 1.40 ERA and Grubb has a 0.4 ERA. But at the same time, you have to consider that, well, there's strike 3. Peacock goes down on strikes. And that is the third for Grubb, 2 away. You do also have to consider that both teams scored in the first. Cinnaminson got an unearned run off of Grubb thanks to a Marcucci error. But then CHBR, 2-run double by Nick Cizelka and a RBI double by the batter next in line in Jason Bennett made for a very good 2-out rally for CHBR. And they've now turned this 1-run deficit into a very quick 2-run lead. But Allison Droney takes low. Allison Droney, a two-way player from Cinnaminson High School, but also out of Rutgers Camden. He's had 13 innings on the mound this year, but a high chopper to short. Marcucci is there, and the throw to first, a little redemption for the first inning with a very clean play. 6-3 ground out to short. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Grubb. That'll keep the lead in control, and it'll keep the momentum at an all-time high for CHBR. Through an inning and a half, it's 3-1, third base. Bottom of the second, you're watching coverage of Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, coverage of the Tri-County Baseball League here in the heat of the summer. It's Cherry Hill 3, Cinnaminson 1. First pitch to Ledeek is fouled back. It's 0-1. 8, 9, and 10 for Cherry Hill. Ledeek, the EH, Brendan Lawhery, the catcher, and Hayden Sowers, the 10 hitter at third base. Cinnaminson got a run early in the top of the first on an error by the shortstop. This ball's another one fouled back. I think it got a piece of the catcher Peacock. And it's 0-2. Cherry Hill scored 3 in the bottom of the first. It was a 2-run double by Nick Cizelka and another RBI double the very next batter by Jason Bennett, allowing Cherry Hill to take the early lead. Just over 90 degrees tonight with a strong wind blowing out to left center. Well, sometimes it's been blowing out, sometimes it's been blowing in. It's been a little bit inconsistent. The 1-2. Late, he swung on and missed it. Peacock has to pick it up as Ledeek runs down the line, and it's taken in at first for the first out. That's strikeout number 3 for Lawton, and it'll be Lockery. Lockery, the West Deptford grad and now a product of Sussex County Community College, the Skylanders. He's batting 180 this year, 4 for 21. However, 3 of his 4 hits are extra base hits, 2 doubles and 1 triple for the catcher. He has walked 4 times and holds an OPS of 689. As that one skips in, good save by Peacock there, although no runners are on. But like we said, Lawton and Grubb, even though a lot of players from both teams have put the bat on the ball, and they've put the bat on the ball often tonight, they've mostly been controlling the strike zone and getting, just like that, a lot of swings and misses. I mean, all 3 strikes that Ledeek had in his at-bat were swinging. He fouled a couple off, made some contact, and it looked like these pitchers have been peppering the zone pretty well. But the question is whether or not that is a trend that will hold as it misses up and in. There was only 1 walk, and that was to Mastero in the first. Jack Mastero, that is. 2 quick outs, and then a 2-out walk, and it comes back to haunt you with 3 straight runs as there's a strike called. 2 strikes on Lockery. And it'll be Hayden Sowers, the third baseman at Widener University, to be next. Another one fouled back. Sowers also a recent graduate of Washington Township. They've got a couple of good ball players on that team. Luke McKenty, he's going to Rowan for 2029. Also, you've got a star infielder in Peyton Andry. Don't know where he's committed yet, but he's going into his senior year next year as a pop-up behind the plate. Not a lot of room to run, and it drops, and it's a fair ball. Peacock and Lawton couldn't get there, and that is going to be a gaff on Cinnaminson, and a big one at that out of the 9 slot as Lockery looked like he popped it up with 2 strikes, and it appeared to be a fairly easy play, but it allows the runner to get on by any means necessary, and they will have a courtesy runner for the catcher. And we'll now go to Sowers. Remember, the interesting thing about a lot of these Tri-County teams is when they start. The first game of the season was played on May the 27th, which is the day after Memorial Day, and that's usually how it's been. But the schedules in recent years have been increasingly backloaded, as there's a ground ball to third. A good stop over there at third, but it's foul. It's 0-1. If you know somebody who's a high school baseball player, or if you are one yourself, you'll know that the schedules have been getting later and later in recent years. They've been expanding the season out, allowing for more rest days, and the state championships are now closer to June 10th. But if your team by any means makes a run into the playoffs, you're probably going to be out of commission for any summer league ball until the beginning, if not the middle of June. Because the first round this year was, I think, May 23rd or 24th, and then they played the second round 2 days later. And the sectional finals were one of the first days in June. believe it was June the 3rd. It's a swing and a miss by Sowers. Going back to the top of the order as the runner goes. This ball is crushed out to left, but it's caught. Now the runner's got to go back, and the ball gets away. Horner has to pick it up. It was a good throw in from left field because maybe they thought they were going to back pick the runner at first and get a double play. But it's the first out now for Joey Bogart. Bogart had a game-winning, or at least game-turning, grand slam in the Glassboro Regional that Rowan hosted for the NCAA Division III Baseball Championship. I mean, that entire Rowan team has so many great players, and they've been consistently a top 10, if not top 15, Division III baseball team in the country. That one runs inside. But South Jersey baseball talent has been pretty good. And a lot of times when you have a large pool of players who have the talent, or at least have the ambition to go to go play collegiate baseball outside of junior college, a lot of these kids are choosing local schools now. You know, they want, even if they have a scholarship of some kind, it's not entirely a free education like a Division I scholarship is. That's going to get away. It's ball 4. Puts runners on first and second with Bogart walking, and it brings up R.J. Mestero. Outfielders might want to play a little deep. But again, the guy making the call from the dugout is Ryan Horner. I mean, this is collectively probably one of the youngest teams, if not the youngest team, that the Tri-County has to offer. Almost exclusively college players, and some players fresh out of high school in the Cinnaminson areas. There's a strike called. Of course, the crew wearing red and white as an homage to Cinnaminson High School's colors, the Pirates, which we have covered many times over the years. Fouled back. That one almost hit Mestero as he was flying out of the box on the recoil of his swing. Two outs, 2 on. Pitch to Mestero, the 0-2. It's hit well out to left center field. This one is up there, calling it off, and McCloskey makes the catch to retire the side. So Cherry Hill leaves 2 runners on, and they get out of the inning with no damage. Maybe just some pitch count issues for Lawton. That's about it. We go to the 3rd. 3-1, Cherry Hill.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah!
It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman. And if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear. Woo!
Top of the third inning here from Folk Field in Cherry Hill. 3-1, Cherry Hill over Cinnaminson as that ball misses low to Ryan Horner, the player manager. We covered Horner and his team when he was a senior at Cinnaminson, when Eric Teasdale was the head coach there. And we've got some pretty good ties with Cinnaminson. We love working with their athletic director, Brian Wilkinson, their head football coach, Brian Patrizzi, and their assistant coach, who we interact with a lot, Greg Still, their soccer coaches, and girls basketball, Brett Jenkins, one of the best girls basketball coaches that South Jersey has to offer. And now you've got Alex Injay in over there with baseball. That one misses inside, skips off the glove of CHBR's backstop. But Horner was in a really good mix of teams from 2023 to 2025, and that included Alex Injayan's first year and Eric Teasdale's last. I mean, you had, again, guys like Allison Droney, Horner, Noah Harvey was a big name. He was a two-sport athlete that played basketball and baseball, and even though he was one of the most prolific scorers and one of the sharpest three-point shooters that Cinnaminson had to offer, he didn't even have basketball as maybe even more than a passing thought for baseball. There's a ground ball, a foul. He ended up committing to play baseball at Division I Richmond, home of the Spiders. And I don't know, I didn't check too well to see how he did in his first year, but we're seeing now more and more players out of South Jersey get drafted after playing at the Division I level, even as maybe a couple of transfers to get it right. There's strike three. Horner, don't know if he's not happy about the call or not happy with himself, but he spikes the bat down, and it's a strikeout for Grubb. Out number one, we go back to the top of the order for McCloskey, the center fielder who made the last out of the second. Strikeout number 5 for Grubb as a strike is called. The 0-1. Oh, called a strike, low and inside. On the corner that time, 0-2. But yeah, these pitchers really locked in so far despite the 3-1 score. This ball is roped into left center field. That will drop for a base hit, picked up by Bartletta. Able to take it in on the short hop. It's a one-out single for McCloskey at the top of the card. And it now sets up the two-man. And Meredith. I mean, that's really all you can ask for from McCloskey. He's had 2 at-bats here in the summer game where he's laced the ball pretty well twice. Had a deep fly out to left field to open up the game, and now has a line drive base hit. If you're not a guy where it's important to your game to hit for power, sometimes simple line drives like that do so much good for your development long term. Strike called, inside corner. Meredith singled and came around to score for Cinnaminson's only run of the game in his first at bat. Singled back up the middle. Now fouls this one off. Taken in by the Cinnaminson third base coach, which also happens to be Ryan Horner. He's a here, he's a there, he's a everywhere. Sometimes that's what you got to do. I mean, listen, he's a young ball player who's got a lot of interest in developing his team, and I'm sure there's a serious aspect of it, but I'm sure that there's probably also a fun aspect to playing with so many of your college teammates, just being able to put something together and then be able to play for a summer. You know, you're able to make a lot of memories that way, I'm sure. As runner goes down to second, the ball went to the backstop. Runner gets in standing. So getting back into scoring position for McCloskey. With the third hit for Cinnaminson, and who knows, hit number 4 can bring home run number 2 for the Reds, or excuse me, the Crew. Used to be the Cinnaminson Reds in the Tri-County League. It's fouled back, but it's like they never left. There was a completely unrelated team when we started out with the Tri-County called the Cinnaminson Reds. They were a byproduct of the Rancocas Valley League, the RVL, which folded, and their teams were absorbed into the Tri-County League, and among those were the Pine Barrens Phantoms, the Delran Browns, the Burlington Township Pirates, and the Cinnaminson Reds. Now, the Cinnaminson Reds, as that's ball 4, tying run is on base, as it'll set up Waldron, the DH, with 2 on and only 1 away. So really promising start to this third inning for Cinnaminson as they try to get back into this game on this hot and sweaty Tuesday night. But the Cinnaminson Reds, I believe their last season was 2024, and again, the reason why I say the transition felt so smooth was because the team that replaced them, oh, that's a broken bat up the first base line. Is it a fair ball? No. But he's got to get new lumber. It's one of those things that at a somewhat quiet ballpark, you can hear that bat snap every time. And it is a sound that makes no mistake. So broken bat for Waldron, and the count's 0-1. But the Cinnaminson Reds folded, the Cinnaminson Crew replaced them, but a lot of people didn't realize that it wasn't just a name change, it was an entire structural change. The funny thing is I think the Crew play at the same home field, as there's a strike called, 0-2. I believe they play at the same home field that the Cinnaminson Reds did, which is Memorial Park in Cinnaminson. The full unabridged name is Memorial Park Field 7 because there are a lot of baseball and softball fields at the venue. And it's a nice place. I'll be honest, it's full with bugs. The foul ball, right field line, out of play, and goes into the trees. But Cherry Hill, a team that has been second in the Tri-County North Division for a while, at least since last week, you know, they were tied for the South Jersey Grizzlies, with the South Jersey Grizzlies for the #1 spot in the division and the #1 seed in the league. That one runs up and in, and that hits Waldron. So don't look now, but the bases are loaded for the cleanup man in Tyler Johnston. And that is not going to be a situation I envy for a guy that has only allowed 1 earned run all season. So here's Johnston. Johnston, an outfielder once again from Gwynedd Mercy. No surprise there. 0-1 now. 386 average, 847 OPS. 17 for 44 in 14 games. 11 RBIs. He only has 1 extra base hit, though. So if he blasts it out of the yard, it will be his first of the year. Strike called. Batter started to check his swing. The check wasn't close, but it was the strike that was called that overrides everything. No balls, 2 strikes. Big chance and a big pitch for Grubb with the bases loaded, jam, and 1 away. Strike called, 1-2. Johnston dealing with the bases loaded. It's McCloskey on third, Meredith on second, Waldron on first, and he chases at it low. It's an automatic strikeout. Oh, the runner's got to go back to third, and he sailed the throw into left. Was that a deke play or was that a mistake? The run's going to score. Matt McCloskey trailed off of third. He just started walking towards home, and the catcher, whether by mistake or I don't know what that was, but he overthrew the third baseman and the run scored on the strike 3, and the ball's live. I gotta say, I've never seen that before on a dropped third. It wasn't even a dropped third strike, because there's no dropped third strikes with the bases loaded unless there's 2 outs. So that was weird. I'm curious if McCloskey just genuinely didn't know how many outs there were, or if he tried to just walk home to basically solicit a throw from Lawcree behind the plate, try to, gain a little inexperience or try to take advantage of inexperience and try to get him to throw down. Like, maybe that was his plan. I don't know. Maybe. But then part of me says that the risk of actually running that trick and it working, and the consequence of that being the second and third out of the inning, makes me think that that was just he genuinely either just started walking home and didn't know either the count or how many outs there were or the situation. He wasn't paying attention or something, and he scored by accident. So the tying run is on third in Meredith, and I think he's talking to Ryan Horner now, who's at third. So maybe it was. I don't know. That is that'll be an interesting question in the post game if Cinnaminson wins this one, as that one's fouled back by Melendez. 2-strike count on him. If the inning continues, we'll see Belfus in the 6th slot for Cinnaminson, but it's 3-2. But another throwing error by CHBR as this ball is lined into left center field. Diving for the catch, Jake Bartletta. What a play. Able to just get out in front of it and extend forward to get out of the inning and somewhat out of the jam. We go to the bottom of the third. Cinnaminson gets a run back on a throwing error. It's a 1-run game, 3-2 CHBR. This ball's hit out to deep right center field on the first pitch, going back, and McCloskey makes the catch. A deep fly ball off the bat of Mistero. It's out number 1. We've had some strong wind this evening, and if that wind decided to pick up at the right time, that could have been a home run or maybe a ball off the wall for Mistero, but instead it's out number 1 on a deep fly ball to McCloskey as Bartletta takes a strike. 0-1. And now this ball's roped out to right center field and diving, and he makes the catch. How about it? Or they're going to give it to him. They are not. Wow, that was confusing. Yeah, they got the runner on first. That catch is not going to stand. So Bartletta with a base hit. That's surprising. I mean, I didn't get a good angle from right field, but the second base umpire did, and he said that ball dropped as a strike called. So it's a base hit for Bartletta, but it still just would have been funny and maybe a little bit ironic that Bartletta robs a Cinnaminson player of a base hit to end the inning. And Cinnaminson almost did the same, as there's a base hit in the center field. McCloskey won't have a throw. And now Bennett gets on to send up Cizelka. Or excuse me, Cizelka gets on to bring up Bennett. So back-to-back base hits for Cherry Hill. So a 3-2 game. Cinnaminson got a run back, and they were so close to tying this thing up, but Jake Bartletta took it away. Inside to Bennett. Yeah, so Cizelka, who's always been a great hitter for CHBR. I think he's been there for 3 years now. I mean, I remember that name when we first started doing Tri-County baseball. That was a name that popped up. Product of Newman University. That'll run inside, and where the bases are loaded. So Bennett, the product of Rowan, 476 hitter, doesn't improve it on that at bat. But the bases are loaded for Marcucci now. Marcucci now at Penn State Abington after transferring from Rutgers Camden, 278 hitter, 10 for 36 with 11 RBIs, 7 walks, 1 extra base hit, and a 710 OPS. Fouled back. Marcucci struck out swinging in the first inning. So he's 0 for 1. But a base hit here, if you get 2 runs home, can especially widen this lead to something that CHBR has been looking for in this little rut that they've been having. Like we said, they had a 7-game winning streak last week that was snapped at the hands of the Rough Riders. And the Rough Riders win streak is still going. They're up to 9 games on their winning streak. Two 1. poked out towards left center. It's going to go to the shortstop who makes the catch. And there's out number 2. Yeah, he got a little bit jammed that time and just wasn't really able to make solid contact there, but you take away that play at the plate, so now the infield moves back. I was curious what they were going to try to do there, if they were going to try to throw home and prevent the run from coming in, or at least try to turn the double play. Because that's such a gamble that you take when you've got that situation, less than 2 out, bases loaded. Because if a ball is hit to a certain side of the infield, do you throw home, try to get the lead runner, try to stop the run? Or is it more feasible to turn a double play and try to end the inning? Because it's not like it usually is on a batted ball when it's in the infield. Because if the runner is out at first and the runner crosses home plate, then the run doesn't count. But we've seen instances before where somebody hits a ball as this ball's hit out to left center field. It'll be called for and the catch is made out and left. So we'll continue that conversation in inning number 4 as Cherry Hill leaves the bases loaded and keeps it a 1-run game after 3.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well. The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside. It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need. And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives. If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Grubb starts out the top of the 4th with a foul tip. It's 0-1. Belfus, Neal, and Peacock, 6, 7, and 8 for Cinnaminson. In the top half of the 4th inning, Cinnaminson got the first run of the game. Currently 3-2 Cherry Hill, but Cinnaminson struck first on an unearned run thanks to an error by the shortstop. There's a strike called. Cherry Hill had a 3-run first inning. 2-run double by Nick Cizelka, another RBI double by Jason Bennett. And they have been held off the board since, even though they left the bases loaded in the 3rd. That was a big jam to get out of for Lawton. There's a swing and a miss. Grubb picks up the strikeout. That's strikeout number 5 for the Rowan University right-hander. And the batter is Neal. Charles Neal from Gwynedd Mercy. Again, as we said, 13 of Cinnaminson's 24 rostered players are a member of Gwynedd Mercy University, and like we said, that is no coincidence. Ryan Horner, the player manager, and probably the youngest manager slash head coach of any team in this Tri-County Summer League. This ball's a ground ball, tough play at short. Marcucci is there, throw to first is on a one hop, it gets away. But it'll be a base hit as extraordinary effort from Marcucci over at short. Had to make that throw on the run. Not an easy play by any margin, but the throw came in a little bit short and the first baseman couldn't scoop it as it bounced high off the ground. I would say that's a combination of a tough play and adverse field conditions, so by no means is it an error. But Charles Neal gets on, and it'll be Jackson Peacock now, the catcher. Curveball trails inside. Barely a cloud in the sky tonight here from Cherry Hill. It's going to be 99 degrees on Wednesday. The strike called, 1-1. Grubb delivers, low and inside on the fastball. Cinnaminson, as we said, got a run back thanks to a throwing error in the top of the third. So Mark Grubb, despite allowing 2 runs, has not allowed any earned runs. Only 1 earned run so far this year. This ball's cracked foul, right field side, and it's 1-2, or 2-2 part. Peacock, and then the extra hitter Allison Droney of Cinnaminson High School, now a pitcher at Rutgers Camden, but playing both sides of the field here in his first or second season with the Crew. Grubb delivers the 2-strike pitch, and that trails inside. And it looks like it hit him. So runners on first and second. Haven't seen somebody bounce a baseball off the pitching rubber before. Usually you want to keep those in pristine condition, but here's Allison Droney batting out of the left side, as he did in his first at bat. He grounded out to shortstop to end the second inning. Low and away. Big thing for Cinnaminson here, I think, is stepping up to the pressure, and we're talking big picture. Cinnaminson started out 3-0, and they looked like they were going to be one of the league's big upset factors, one of the big Cinderellas, you know, just in their second year, a very young team, mostly college freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, almost entirely college players, let's speak more broadly. And you would have thought that a team like that would struggle against some of the higher level players, especially since Gwynedd Mercy, they're a solid program, but you know, they've been playing 500 ball for the last few years, and you've got an amalgamation of players that were in the D3 College World Series, or you've got some Division I guys, some Division II guys. You know, just thinking of it very matter-of-factly, Cinnaminson was a wild card team last year. They were the 7 seed, hosted a home playoff game versus the Pine Barrens, and they won that game. But it didn't look like Cinnaminson was going to be that much of a contender because they lost 9 straight. They were 3-9 in the month of June. And then going into July, they won 3 straight. And even though they picked up a loss a few days ago, they picked up a win, I believe it was yesterday, versus Pittman. They won the game 8-7 in 8 innings, took extra innings, and Carl Wisman, the Bishop Eustace product now at Immaculata, had the game-winning hit. Throwback to second is in time. Marcucci throw to first, not in time. It's a fielder's choice, but look what Mark Grubb found. It's going to be a 1-6 fielder's choice. Runner is out at second. It puts runners on first and third here. So here is Horner. looking for an opportunity to tie the game, if not more, with 2 outs. Rip the ball out to the gap, get that go-ahead run in as well. 2-for-1 special. But Horner, you know, had to grab a bat and had to put himself in his shoes, if you will. Also Gwynedd Mercy product. And also from Cinnaminson High School. He's batting .276 this year. 8 for 29, 6 RBIs, 9 walks, 3 stolen bases, and a .792 OPS. Strike called inside corner to Horner. If the inning continues, we go back to the top of the order for Matt McCloskey, who, as a center fielder, has had some good defensive plays and has had some good line drives off the bat. He's 1 for 2. He had a line drive fly out to left in the first and had a line drive base hit back up the middle in the third. So he definitely has put the bat to the ball well, as that misses inside. 3-2, Cherry Hill, top of the 4th inning. Moving along here at Folk Field, home of Cherry Hill Babe Ruth. I don't know when is the last time that either of the Cherry Hill high schools played here, but there's a line drive to left, and that's going to tie the game. Ryan Horner, RBI single, knocks it to left. He scores Neal, and it's a 3-3 game, and that is just the second earned run that Mark Grubb has allowed all season. He came into the game with 1 earned run, a 0.4 ERA, and 49 strikeouts. He certainly has increased the strikeout number, but you've now got runners on second and third here in a game that's been far more competitive than it was last week between the Rough Riders and CHBR. That was a 8-1 final in favor of the Rough Riders. Cameron Simon had a grand slam in the second inning, and the Rough Riders really just put the game away that early. Grubb delivers. Strike called. 0-2. And you've seen a decent amount of players at least kind of frustrated with the calls. It's been a generally big zone tonight. You know, sometimes there's calls that are borderline, but pitches in that spot have been called a strike pretty much every time. So that's why they tell you, swing at anything close. And he did, but it wasn't close enough as a swing and a miss ends the inning. But an RBI single by the player manager Ryan Horner put Cinnaminson at level's end with CHBR. They tie the game 3-3, going to the bottom of the 4th. Jack Mostero, 2 for 3 with a strikeout, a double, and a single. Looking to play hero. He's going to line this one into right center field, and that's going to drop. That's going to do it if they don't get a throw down. Mostero's going to second, and Danza's coming home. Sectional champions, Gloucester Catholic. They do it in a walk-off fashion as GC with Mostero playing hero. An unbelievable fourth inning here from Folk Field, Cherry Hill. This ball is skied in the deep left field. Going back, he's got room, and he'll make the catch. Fly out to left now, bringing up Sowers. This ball is smoked into center field. This one sends McCloskey back, and he reels in for out number 2. So 3 pitches, and 2 outs. So Lawton takes care of the 9th and 10th hitters fairly easy, and now it's Bogart. Here's the pitch. This is upstairs. That one is low. Somewhat quiet night here in Cherry Hill. A couple of folks in attendance here from Folk Field. Behind us is the Cherry Hill Township Municipal Building. As well, there's not too many places in South Jersey that are like this. You've got a big sprawling town without really a big downtown area. You've got the Cherry Hill Mall, but you know, I'm from Audubon. Audubon has a distinct downtown area. You've got Merchant Street with all the businesses lined up and all the parking in the back, and Haddon Heights is the same thing, Haddonfield, Collingswood, but Cherry Hill doesn't really have that. As a blooper out towards second base, Horner comes in, almost overruns it, and makes the catch. Quick 1-2-3 inning for Lawton. We go to the 5th. 3-3 tie game. Ryan Horner, the player manager, tied the game. But with 2, 3, and 4 due up, Mark Grubb still on the hill, and no formal action yet in the CHBR bullpen. Could set up for something interesting here. Especially a Cinnaminson team that hasn't won as many games as they would have anticipated, but they've all stuck together, and it feels like they are turning into a very solid second half team as that one bounces up and foul over towards third base. there's a different couple types of archetypes of teams in Tri-County, and it's one of the best barometers for explaining how this league works, because people talk about the Tri-County, and if they haven't heard of it for the first time, they're expecting it to be like the Cape Cod League or the Ripken League, but it's really not. I would say part of it's not as formal as Cape Cod. Cape Cod League plays in stadiums with formalized seating and all that, and I think that's one thing. But Tri-County has a mix of everything, but it's not a men's league. Like, we covered Westchester NABA on Sunday. That was at Fox Valley Park in Katona, New York. That was a men's league. That was just ball players that wanted to play. But this is a summer league for real college athletes, but it's not all college athletes. You have kids that are fresh out of high school. They just walked at graduation. Now they're going to play a summer league before they go into their first college semester, as that one is low to Meredith, and the count is full. A great example of it is the Pittman Bad Guys. You've got a core of former minor leaguers in Billy Rice, Adrian Gonzalez, and Chris Rollins. And they've all been playing together, but they're all in their 30s now, which it would be like a strong men's league team. But then they have a few college guys like Jake Andre. They have a couple former college standouts like Luke Lesh. And then they've got, again, some more older veterans like Lou Alvarado. But a base hit back up the middle gives Meredith a knock to lead off the fifth. This ball's cracked out to third. It gets through into left field. A base hit. Cizelka picks it up on a knee. Back-to-back singles, Meredith and Waldron. And Cinnaminson is in business here in the fifth. Quick mound visit here with Marciano, Bones Marciano, the son of the commissioner, Angelo Marciano, who's been involved with Tri-County baseball for a long time. If you know anything about Tri-County baseball and its early days, you might know Rick Ventura, who helped was the founder of the league from 1954, and I believe he resigned or stepped down or retired, for that matter, in 1991. But Tri-County does a very good job of keeping history. They go all the way back to, it was 1953. The first ever Carter Cup was Pensgrove. And there have been some teams to have some legacies over the years, legitimate summer legacies. One that comes to mind is Dr. Connor, that won 5 in a row. We got an out at third. Got a runner cut down there. Ryan Horner doesn't like the call. I don't know what he's upset about. Yeah, he's upset about the tag, and so the runner's out at third. So that is controversially out number one, and Meredith kind of taking his time walking across the field. I've seen that before as a point of disapproval. But Dr. Connor won 5 Tri-County titles in a row from 1997 to 2001. And during that stretch, they won 6 titles in 7 years, because Vineland won in 1996, but Dr. Connor won the year prior in 1995. But of course, teams change, allegiances change, and obviously there are some people who just don't want to do it anymore. Like the Gartons are having a good season. They're lighting up the South Division of the Tri-County, but they haven't won a title since 2022. Oh, that throwback to second, it gets away. Another throwing error, this time charged to Grubb, and I guess it doesn't matter after all, because that runner moves to third anyway. And that is now the 3rd error. Against CHBR. And it's not like those errors have meant nothing. The first error brought in the first run of the game. The second, it brought in the second run that Cinnaminson scored. And now the 3rd error puts the go-ahead run 90 feet away. So they haven't been errors without consequence, or at least potential for consequence. But Cherry Hill Pittman, before dropping Cherry Hill from their name and becoming the Pittman Bad Guys, they won the title last season. If you're familiar, it was a massive comeback. It was a 12th inning, well, not even really a comeback, it was just an exhilarating moment, as there's ball 4 to Johnston. A walk-off home run by Luke Lesh in the bottom of the 12th inning. It was game 2 of the series. Cherry Hill Pittman had won the game without much issue the first game over Washington Township, and we will have a pitching change. So Mark Grubb comes out of the game. He will come out after 4 1/3 innings. He'll finish with 6 strikeouts, and it's a 3-3 game. We'll see if Cinnaminson can strike, but with coming in, Jack Mastero will come in from right field, and he will come on to pitch. So the Gloucester Catholic outfielder, first baseman, and occasional pitcher, he continues to do it all here in Tri-County, and the southpaw will come on in relief when we return. First pitch from Mastero to Melendez is a ball. Goes back to the backstop. Runner didn't go. Mastero coming into the game with 2 innings on the hill this year. No walks, 4 Ks. He has had 2 saves. So this is his first time coming on in a non-save situation, but a 0 ERA, a 0 whip, and a 0 batting average against. He hasn't allowed a hit just yet this year. Good fastball, pumps it in for a strike. Yeah, I gotta imagine Mastero pitching in this summer league is going to help him down the line, and he's had some pitching experience at Rowan College of Gloucester too, and he was one of the regular pitchers for Gloucester Catholic in high school. It's a fly ball out to right center. Bartletta slides, he makes the catch, fires a throw to the plate. It's offline. It hits off the facing of the dugout, and Cinnaminson takes a 4-3 lead on a sacrifice fly. So 2 things can be true. One, that Cinnaminson definitely had a good at-bat there, flying the ball out to center field and getting a run out of it, but also that Jake Bartletta made a great catch, and even though he wasn't able to, quote, save a run, the fact that he was able to prevent extra bases kind of by proxy is saving a run, because yeah, it's a sacrifice fly, but a ball hit that deep to the outfield is going to score the run no matter what. So the fact that he was able to make the catch, put in 110% effort, is going to do dividends for him. Bartletta, as we said, the Rancocas Valley graduate who's now at Rowan. One of several great South Jersey products at Rowan and several South Jersey products that are on not only Rowan's ball club but CHBR's ball club as well. To Belfus with a runner on second. That skips in. The backstop is pretty thin here, so not a whole lot of incentive to go unless you get a really bad ricochet. But that's the one thing. I mean, when we're covering the game from out in the outfield, we technically could set up a camera behind the plate, but out in the outfield, you know, you've got an issue where you can't really, the depth perception isn't there when you're looking at it through the lens of a camera. You know, from what I can see, I could tell you that the backstop, and from when I was walking behind the backstop before the game, there's probably about, I don't know, 8 feet between where the catcher crouches and from the back padding. You know, so obviously there's some places where the backstop is deceptively large, and when you're looking at it on second base, it may not look that big, but you may have more space to run. As there's a swing and a miss, Mastero picks up the strikeout, and the inning is over. I don't think Mastero knew how many outs there were at first. He started walking back on the mound, and he'll be one of the last to leave the field. Cinnaminson takes the lead on a Melendez sacrifice fly to deep center field. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 4-3, Cinnaminson Crew. It's a nice evening for baseball, even though it's a little bit humid here from Folk Field in Cherry Hill. You're watching coverage of Tri-County Baseball League action on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. As Lawton delivers a strike, 0-1 to R.J. Mastero. 2, 3, and 4 for Cherry Hill. R.J. Mastero, Jack Mastero, and then in the 4th slot, Jake Bartletta. Cinnaminson took the lead on a sacrifice fly in the top of the 5th. It was a nice effort by Bartletta, but as we discussed on the air, a ball hit that deep into the outfield gap was going to score a run no matter what. You know, unless you had a Rick Keel arm out in center field. You're not going to get too many plays at home that way. Here's the pitch. Jammed and foul. Looked like that ball was coming out to left center at first, but again, we talk about that depth perception, the sneaky depth perception. Our next broadcast will be on Thursday for our last Tri-County game of the regular season. We'll be at Runnymede Babe Ruth Field for coverage between the Haddonfield Rough Riders and the South Jersey Grizzlies, 2 of the top teams in the North, the 1st seed and the 3 seed respectively, as that's ball 4. And his younger brother RJ will come up here to lead off the bottom of the 5th. (7:54 p.m. as we speak. Sunset is set for 8:28, but the last time that these two teams played, we were here last Tuesday, and the last pitch was thrown at around 8:10. As here's a pop-up back behind the plate. Peacock goes out, and he drops it. Looked like he overran it a little bit. It's the second time that there's been a bit of a gaffe behind the plate with Cinnaminson. But I would say all the more power to you in the top of the 6th inning, because if you're Cinnaminson and you want to close out another big win against one of the top teams in the league, because they did it versus Pittman on Sunday, and they could do it now versus the number 2 team in the league, really punching up here. And the reason why I say that is because in Tri-County League rules, and it's pretty standard in most leagues where you have fields without lights, it reverts back to the last full inning. So if Cinnaminson wants to win this game, they should be insistent on scoring 5 runs in the top of the 6th inning. Because even if you don't complete that inning, you'd rather have a 4-3 game than a 3-3 game. And that sacrifice fly is going to mean so much if Cinnaminson can hang on tonight. That one's high. Mastero trying to put in a big swing here. Fouled back. And he'll stay alive. Well, that was a weird juggling act there. And this ball is crushed. Deep center field, going back McCloskey. He's got room. He'll make the catch. Again, Jack Mastero would have loved to have that wind that was there in the first couple innings tonight, but it's out number one. So with Jack Mastero going down and RJ Mastero walking, we'll have Cizelka now. We'll be on the air for Friday's Breakthrough Soccer Showcase starting at 2:30 p.m. in West Hampton, New Jersey. As that ball's fouled back down the right field line. Right fielder gives it a chase, but no play. Some of the best high school soccer talent in South and Central Jersey, specifically Burlington and Mercer counties, will meet at the famous West Hampton Sports Complex. We will have all games from Field 1. That includes 8 regular tournament seeding games, round-robin games. As a throw to first, that skips in, and the catcher catches it. The throw to third is not in time. And the tying run gets to third. After that tough play, I mean, that throw skipped in. They were talking about it on the field earlier, saying that really any ball that bounces at first base is going to be a 50-50 gamble. And now the tying run is on third. So we could be racing towards a tie if Cherry Hill ties this game and then we don't get any movement in the sixth. Because the last game that we covered here at Folk Field was a blowout. It was 8-1. Rough Riders had the lead early and never gave it up. This is a competitive game that could go down to the wire here. That one's up and away. So again, Friday we'll be at West Hampton. That's going to be a long day, but it's going to be worth it. Going to be fun to be hanging around with a lot of guys from South Jersey soccer. Justin Faust will be there, Tommy Orr, some of the great South Jersey soccer coaches on the boys' side. And then on Thursday, July 23rd, we will have our second live concert taping. We'll be at the Borough of Conshohocken Summer Concert Series to tape the concert for the band Variable Elements. They will include hits from today, hits from the 70s, hits from the 80s, and disco party classics for all ages and all groups. You can visit them online at variableelements.com. And we will be taping their show live from Conshohocken, Pennsylvania on the 23rd. Pitcher coming in from the bullpen for Cinnaminson after that mound visit. As that one gets away, and the bases are loaded. Now the question is, if you're Ryan Horner, you're running out of time here. And it's going to be a race against the clock to get something done in this game. You know, you're only going to realistically have, I mean, it's 8 o'clock right now. Sunset is 8:28. I mean, I don't know. But it's a foul back, 0-1. To Bennett after Cizelka walked. But a simple base hit here can give Cherry Hill the lead, and if they don't have enough time to complete the sixth, because they don't have a lot of time left, period, this could be a very interesting finish to this game. outside. That gets away, but it's held up at the backstop. This ball's hit out to center field. Going back, McCloskey. It's off the wall. 1 run scores. Here comes a relay to the plate, and it's not in time. It's a 2-run single for Jason Bennett on a ball that hit off the top of the wall. And Cherry Hill at the 11th hour leads it 5-4 in the bottom of the 5th inning. That's going to be one of the longest of long singles you're going to see. But because it wasn't clear if McCloskey was going to make the catch, and it wasn't clear if that ball was going to be out of the ballpark, everybody held up, so they went station to station. And now Cinnaminson is on the edge. This one's popped up, third base side. Out of play, hits the trees and knocks down a little branch. Outside. Goes to the backstop. Elka started to run off of second. This ball's popped up again, third base side. Does he have a play? He does not. Same spot as last time. Just no trees in the way. He delivers. Stroked foul. Keeping it alive here. Again, you're not going to have too much time left. I mean, if you're watching the game, the camera makes it look a little brighter because it has a smaller lens, which is adjusted because, you know, the intent is so that you can see what's happening. But it is getting a little bit dark. And with only 1 out, CHBR can maybe lock something up here with a couple of foul balls here and there, a couple of base hits, get themselves ahead. This game started at 6:10. So we aren't 2 hours in yet, but when you are playing a 7-inning game with basically Mother Nature as your clock, it does make it a bit of a challenge to play all 7 sometimes. But about half of the fields in the Tri-County Baseball League don't have lights. So you're kind of in a bit of a bind because of that. This ball's hit out towards right field. This could be trouble. It drops. We go station to station. They get the play at second. A 9-6 fielder's choice because of how late the runner started. So there's 2 outs. And now that'll set up Chase Laddick. Strike called. Strike two. Runner gets down to second, uncontested. Swing and a miss ends the inning. So let's see what the game plan is. Do they have enough, or will they... Top of the sixth, first pitch is a called strike to Charles Neal. Corner of the outfield playing in. One gets away. But like we said, we're right now at 8:09, and the last pitch of last week's game between the Rough Riders and Cherry Hill was at 8:10. Now, to give a little bit of fairness to both sides of the table, last week's game was fairly uncompetitive. It was 8-1, and even then Cherry Hill only scored very late in the game. So it's reasonable to say there's more of an incentive to play longer tonight than there was to play longer last Tuesday. But a 5-4 game, Cherry Hill took the lead on a 2-run single. And don't let those words fool you. It was a 2-run single, but it was off the top of the wall. A deep shot to center off the bat of Bennett gave Cherry Hill the lead that they've needed. That ball fouled back. 2 strikes on Neal. Neal, Peacock, and Allison Droney. 7, 8, 9 to be followed by Horner. But remember, you have to complete the full inning. I am curious if they get out of the top of the sixth with holding the lead, if they just say that they're not going to play the bottom of the sixth. I'm curious about that, or if they're going to try to stretch it, because it would have to go quick, if you ask me. Strike called. It pops out of the glove. The throw to first is in time. 1 away. Strike called. Mastero in his second inning of work, he took care of, or his first full inning of work. He followed up Mark Grubb's performance, 4 1/3 innings, 6 strikeouts, and 1 earned run, just his second earned run of the season. Swing and a miss. Another swing and a miss, and there's 2 away. So we could be down to our last out if Cinnaminson doesn't at least tie the game. But back-to-back strikeouts from Mastero. He's faced 3 batters and he struck all of them out. Or at least, excuse me, he's faced 4 batters and he struck 3 of them out. His first batter that he faced with Melendez, who had a sac fly to center field, that was what gave Cinnaminson the lead. But 2-ball skip in there. Strike called, 2-1. Looking at the Tri-County standings. In the North Division, CHBR would improve to 12-4. The Grizzlies have a 5-point advantage at 12-3. The Rough Riders, who we'll see Thursday along with the Grizzlies, are 11-2. The Camden Reds 6-8. The Burlington Township Pirates 3-14. And the Pine Barrens Phantoms 3-12. It has been a bit of a top-heavy year here in the Tri-County, but that just means once you get into the playoffs, you'll have some great pound-for-pound matchups, as the strike is called, to Alessandroni. And looking at the South standings, Garton's lead with 11-5, Pittman right behind him at 10-5, Cinnaminson 6-11, Washington Township at 6-9, and the Blackwood Bears at 3-11. 2 outs, nobody on. Mastero looking to shut it down in the 6th. It's fouled back. Alessandroni strikes a fastball back to keep it alive. 3 strikeouts in relief for Mastero. Good chance your player of the game is going to be Jason Bennett for the 2 RBI single in the bottom of the 5th, which really set up Cherry Hill for a great position to hold their advantage. The 2-strike pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. The inning is over. The question is, well, they're going to shake the hand of the umpire, and that is the ball game. So Cherry Hill, go ahead, 2-run single in the 6th. And they win this one by a score of 5-4. Jack Mastero, he'll pick up the win in relief. He had an inning and 2/3. He struck out 4 of the 5 batters that he faced. As Cinnaminson, all credit to him for a team that was 6-11, stayed in it for the entire length of the game and found a way to make it entertaining no matter what. They opened the game with a 1-0 lead. Cherry Hill got 3 runs in the bottom of the 1st inning, but then Cinnaminson didn't give up. They clawed back. They tied the game at 3 and then took the lead on a 4-3 sacrifice fly. But the dynamics just didn't change all that much, as Cinnaminson, who's been a team that has done very well in the second half compared to the first half, unable to complete the comeback effort all the way tonight. That'll be all for us tonight on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Your final time of game, 2 hours and 3 minutes. Your winning pitcher is Jack Mastero. Your losing pitcher will go to Cinnaminson's Nathan Lawton out of Gwinnett Mercy, and no save will be recorded as Mastero was on the mound when the winning run was scored. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator Haley Mejia, our graphics crew Caleb Lane, Carson Rosso, and Fisher Giannotti, I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you on Thursday from the Runnymede Babe Ruth Complex for a pound